Hi everybody, I'm Jenny Simpson. Today was supposed to be the 2020 Eugene Diamond League meeting, and I wish we could all be together to watch me live in action on the track. But like many of you around the globe, I'm staying home to stay safe from the coronavirus. While we can't be in Eugene, we wanted to bring you some highlights of some of the best Eugene has had to offer over the years. So sit back and relax as we bring Eugene to you and some of the highlights of the virtual Wanda Eugene Diamond League meeting.
Thank you, Jenny, and yes, welcome to this Wanda Diamond League Callroom Prefontaine Classic special. Coming up, we'll have highlights from the last few editions of the Prefontaine Classic, as well as chats with Christian Coleman, Shelby Houlihan and Rai Benjamin. But let's kick off with some action and some sprints, and a notable victory for Noah Lyles back in 2018.
Men's 200. Lyles gets a pretty good start. Guliev just got left a little bit. McQuarrie also quickly away in lane 8. And these two have got the lead at the moment into the home straight. It's Lyles and McQuarrie going well and right in the middle. Aaron Brown and Jereme Richards trying to get him. McQuarrie's pulled up injured, and here comes Noah Lyles. He's putting on a show for everybody. Noah Lyles streaking away. He wins it 19.69. We'll try and get you a wind reading as quickly as possible. It's +2 exactly. If that is confirmed, not only is that a new personal best, it will be a world-leading time for the 20-year-old Noah Lyles, and he'll move right up onto the world all-time list, getting close to the top 10. We'll confirm all of that in a second. He says, I come from a family of 400-meter runners. I've got strength. Maybe one day I could go and have a go at that event. Goodness me, just think what he might produce at that. But for the time being, let's revel in what this man can do over 200 meters. 19.69. He will get quicker, I promise you. Noah Lyles.
Ali, Stowers, Rollins, Harper-Nelson, Nelvis, Harris, Porter and Talley. The women's 100-meter hurdles. Well, Harrison got away well, and third in. Rollins going very strongly as well. Rollins and Harrison, these two leading the field, and Harrison coming through very strongly in the final stages, and this is going to be quick. Harrison takes that brilliantly, and I think in second place was Rollins, and 12.22. And 12.22 is 1/100th of a second outside the world record. Now plus 0.7, and it's been upgraded to 12.24. Wow! She's promised much and delivered. What about that? The second fastest time in history by Kendra Harrison. Came here with the fastest time, and really the second fastest ever, of course, behind the world record of Jordanka Dongova of Bulgaria. 12.21 the record.
Well, away they go. Looking for Elaine Thompson in the purple vest, but Tori Bowie has had a storming first 50 metres. Tori Bowie going very well indeed. Also coming under pressure is Daphne Skippers. Skippers doing very well indeed, but at the moment Thompson is nowhere. Thompson coming back, but it's Tori Bowie who's going to get away with this one. Tori Bowie, who's got the joint lead, gets it. Tori Bowie in lane 7 with Shawnee Miller, would you believe it, in lane 8, the 400-metre specialist. But Tori Bowie has taken this field apart. Elaine Thompson, the double Olympic champion, on her left, made to look very, very ordinary indeed. Daphne Skippers also flailing behind, 21.77 the winning time. That is an improvement on her lifetime best. That is a scorching performance. It's a world lead in 2017. There was a three-way tie for the world lead before this race, and now it belongs individually to Tori Bowie.
Cisen 1, Tortu 3, Gillespie 4, Gatling goes in 4, Coleman in 5. Rogers, Hughes, Tracy, Burrell. Really good start there from Justin Gatlin, but so does Coleman going quickly too, and Coleman leading at the moment. This is Hughes against the older Gatlin, and he's going to win it by half a metre here. The two of them well clear of the rest. Coming through third, I think, was Zarnell Hughes. 9.80. Well, if that's confirmed, let's have a look at the wind speed. Minus 0.1. Boy, oh boy. That's the fastest time in the world this year.
Just watch this, explodes out. He knows that he hasn't got away from Gatlin really, and Zarnell Hughes came through for the tall runner, just coming through here for third, but it was between those two, and as I said, he didn't buckle. You know, the form doesn't change here, just keeps driving, doesn't tie up. Gatlin's trying his best to get back on terms, but a little look across from Coleman there to say, no, my day, I got that advantage at the beginning, I wasn't going to give it up.
A notable victory for Christian Coleman there, not just his first win at the Prefontaine Classic, but also the first time he'd beaten Justin Gatlin. Christian, who last year went on to win the world title over 100 metres, joined us on the line from his home in the States to tell us about that experience of victory at the Prefontaine Classic. We would have been at the Prefontaine Classic around about this time, had there been a season. And I just wanted to ask you a bit about your couple of races that you had, think in Eugene in 2018, and then last year in Stanford. When you were growing up and kind of getting involved with track, was it a meet that you always wanted to compete at?
By the time I had heard about the Prefontaine and realized, you know, how big and prestigious of an event it was, I was a little older. I think maybe my junior, senior year in high school. But at that point, yeah, I definitely always watched the Prefontaine Classic. Always tuned in, and you know when you tune into that meet, it's always gonna be spectacular times. And so yeah, I've always been a fan, and I always look forward to competing in there. And I think 2018 was like you said, my first time competing as a professional, and yeah, it's been pretty cool every time I've gone there.
You managed to come back in 2018, and I think you got your PB, your PR in the Diamond League final in Brussels as well.
Yeah. 2018 was a really successful year for me. That was the year I broke the 60-meter world record indoors. And so I was coming off a high, and then like a really, steep low, and I hurt my hamstring and having to sit out and then working my way back. And then obviously a nice high at the end of the year too with the Diamond League Championship. So it was a bit of a rocky road, but overall I would say it was a successful year. And I had a lot of fun that year, man, competing on the Diamond League circuit for my first time, and getting a chance to travel the world and go to different places and stack up some wins. And yeah, it was just a really good experience. So competing in Prefontaine and then in the meets that I competed in afterwards, it was all a great experience.
When you think about that race in, I think, Shanghai, where you ran exceptionally fast but just got hit on the line by Noah, and then maybe there was a 200 in Ostrava, similar sort of race, were you still kind of feeling your way into form, given that they were your first races of the year?
Absolutely. I think that first race in Shanghai was a really exciting race. But I hadn't competed since like the last year's Diamond League Championship. So I think it was, I don't know, like 6 or 7, maybe 8 months since I had competed. So it was a good little minute. And I had to, get the rust off. But I was feeling good in practice. But obviously you're not at your peak form or best shape because, we're obviously trying to work our way up to build up into to be our best at the World Championship. So we hadn't done like a whole lot of speed work, still had a lot of base on my legs and heavy weightlifting and stuff like that. But I was still able to go out there and, run, mid 9.8. And so it was a pretty successful race, but obviously, Noah's a great competitor too. And, he stepped up to the plate, nipped me at the line, and, you can't win them all, but obviously, you still run 9.8 with some heavy training on your legs. You can't really complain much. So
by the time we get round to Stanford, you'd already picked up a win in Oslo. Did you feel like finally you were finding a bit of groove? Because I did just watch the Stanford race, and the thing that really impressed me there was your start. I mean, it's something that, given that you hadn't raced in so long, you were still feeling your way back into form. You still got that dynamite start. Yeah.
I mean, I think that's one of the things that just comes natural to me, like having a pretty explosive start, working in the weight room to get stronger, and then having that technique to be able to optimize your strength to, get down the track. I think that's just one of the things, no matter at what point in the year, whether we're base training or getting ready for a meet, I always probably have like a pretty good start. It's just I feel like one of my weaknesses, speed, endurance, and maintaining it. So that's just one of the things I've always worked on, and I think that meet at Stanford, Prefontaine last year, was one of the meets where I think I executed, one of my better races, while I was able to, get out on top of the field and stay smooth, stay calm, and relax, and just carry my speed through the finish line. And I was able to do that and get a win. And I think it meant a lot to me because my good buddy Justin Gatlin, I hadn't beaten him before, and so it was just going into it. It was like I was kind of favored to win, but at the same time, it's like I've never beaten Justin before, so it's like I want to go out and compete and get one under my belt, because he's gotten a few over me.
I didn't realise that you'd never taken him on a race before. And again, besides the start in that race, it is how relaxed you stay over the last 30 yards or so. Is that hard to do when you've got someone like Justin in the lane right next to you? Yeah,
and that's what people don't realize is like I go through, I visualize the race all the time in my head. Like, it's one thing to go through the race pattern in your head, visualizing in practice, working on it, do the things in practice. When you get out there in the heat of the fire, and you're competing against a world-class field, and you got some great competitors right next to you, it's hard to, just stay smooth, stay relaxed, and, trust your training and trust your form. And that's one thing that I'm continuously just trying to get better and better and better at. I think that was a really good milestone for me in my career because, like I was saying, I hadn't beaten him before, and I was able to stay relaxed, stay calm, and just finish out through the race.
Did he give you any advice at all?
Nah, he didn't give me any advice before. He's a competitor too. And even though, he's one of the OGs in the game, like, even though he's a lot older than me and been doing it, and obviously we talk, from time to time, he give me different advice about stuff like that. But at the actual, meet, when we're about to go head to head, he has to just lock in on his game and I lock in on mine, and may the best man win that day. So no advice before, but it was all love afterwards, obviously. So.
Last year, it seemed like your focus was very much on the 100, although you did have a few 200 races. Obviously, this season's a bit different, but is the 200 something that you've got a mind on as well for the future?
Most definitely. I mean, it's one of the things where I feel like I'm a great competitor in the 100. I feel like I'm a really good competitor in the 200 as well. And so I put all my chips in the 100. And at the end of that, then I just shift my focus over to the 200 and try to compete there. And I think that's one of the things I say about my coach is that he's he really builds his athletes up to be able to compete at multiple distances. And so that's why even when I was in college, I would, run a leg on a 4x4, run a 4x1, 100 and 200. It's just that he really builds a big base so that you're able to, have that speed endurance and be able to compete and stay healthy throughout the season. So, that's definitely going to be part of my focus is, not only the 100, but trying to be as competitive as I can in the 200 too.
When you reflect on 2019, where does that Prefontaine Classic win fit in?
I feel like it fits in right on brand, man. Right on pace and right on schedule with what I was trying to do. Obviously, you want to get faster and faster and faster throughout the season, and peak at the right moment. So I think that was a good race for me to get a good win under my belt, run a really fast time when I'm not even feeling my best. I think it was a headwind as well, and so it was a really good meet. And I was able to continue to get faster. That was a really good boost to my confidence, and just kept me propelling and moving forward into the World Championships, into the USA's, make the team, into the world. So it fit right in. I think everything happened for a reason, and that fit right into the schedule, and everything just kind of played out perfectly.
And now looking forward, I guess it's going to be 2021. How much do you want that Olympic title as well?
Man, in my opinion, I feel like I want it more than anybody else. I feel like I've been putting the work in. I've been grinding. I've been, totally locked in, and I've given my all to the sport, and that's what I want the outcome and the results to be from my hard work. I want an Olympic gold medal, and I think that should be everybody's mindset, to be honest. And you can't be afraid to, put yourself out there and say that this is what you want to do. It can only be one winner, and I want to be him. And so, I've been working hard, and I think it would mean a lot to me if I would be able to bring back a gold medal in my event, back to the U.S. And so pretty excited for the opportunity. I think it was a good decision to postpone it to from 2020 and, just move it back to next year and still give everybody the same, chance and opportunity to go out there and compete. So I'm definitely looking forward to it.
And other than gold medals, championships, winning races, how focused are you on times as well?
Not necessarily that focused on times. Like, obviously you want to run really fast times. You want to break records. You want to put yourself in a record book and, have that be a part of your legacy. But I just think that what I've always done is just focus on winning and focus on just stacking up W's and getting gold medals. Because, records are meant to be broken, but, gold medals and having your name in history as, somebody who won an Olympic medal, that's, that'll be there forever. Like, nobody can take that from you. And so that's really my main focus, just trying to, get as many wins as I can, get as many gold medals as I can. And I think when you focus on that, then the times will come with it. Because obviously it's going to take something crazy to be able to win in 2021. There's going to be so many great guys in that line. And I'm excited for it. So if I win, obviously the time will come with that. So I just try to focus on coming out with a victory.
Big thanks to Christian for joining us on the show. A reminder that we'll also have chats with Rai Benjamin and Shelby Houlihan coming up. But let's get back to the action. And a big jump from Christian Taylor along with some other meeting records.
He leads with 1782. Oh, and that's big again. He knows it. Stumps out of the pit. Oozing pomp and arrogance, and that is so important. Mentally, he's really on top of this. Thumping his chest, and he knows he's got this nailed. He's going so well. 1782, then a modest second rounder, 1703, 1766 in round 3, and then 1782 again. He's hit the same mark. Goodness me. 18:11 it is for Christian Taylor. 18 meters 11, and now we're getting into world record territory. The wind speed plus 0.8. He opened with 1782. Will Clay hitting a great fourth round mark of 1782, but Christian Taylor last in the jumping order. With 2 jumps to come, what might more we see? He has the lead, 18 meters 11, and it's legal.
Getting so close to 22 meters, even though Krause has gone 22.12. Can he go further? 5th round.
Yeah! Go on!
There you go. There you go. Ryan Krause. Moving on and moving up. That could be even further. Well, suddenly this shot put competition has come alive here. Ryan Krause leading the way. 22.53 for Krause. Superb performance. A new meeting record for Krause. Very close to his personal best as well, set last year in Sacramento. Well, the smile from Krause, and why not? So Thomas Roller really did have to respond, and respond he did in fine style. Quite as big and powerful as Vetter, but Roller has got great technique when he hits it right, and he got this one floating out there. Those graphics are a little bit misleading. It was just around the 90-meter mark, but another stadium record for Thomas Roller. So the Olympic champion coming good through 91.78. Great performance, the two of them in Doha. This time 89.88, a new meeting record. Good enough to win ahead of his teammate, just 50 centimeters or so, and Hoffman taking third, making it a German 1-2-3. Lazetskena at 2 meters and 4. First time clearances all the way through. Has looked incredibly good today. And again! Wow!
Well, here's Romani, round 5. He's in fantastic form. He threw 22.46 with his third round effort, 22.55 with his fourth round effort. He's dominating this one, is Romani. He's taking it to the American crowd, the Olympic champion, taking it to Walsh, the New Zealander who's world champion, and not giving them a chance. That is even better. 22.61 there for Darlan Romani. It's a national record for the Brazilian, a Diamond League record, and a meeting record to boot.
Also the farthest ever in Diamond League meet. And he's still got 1 to go.
Found great form again, Janser, after watching Sandy Morris pretty much dominate recently from an American perspective, and that's clear as well. Well, Janser responds with a first-time clearance at 485. Well, these two at the different ends, really, of their careers, I guess. 36-year-old Janser, 21-year-old Eliza McCartney. Two of them clear at 485.
From the inside.
Well, they get away safely this time. Benjamin, not the best of starts. McMaster's gone up very quickly, just rises first to that first hurdle, down the back straight into the breeze. Now a little bit more even. Benjamin just moving up on McMaster, and the two of them making ground on Kenzira, who's in lane 7 as well, and going well. TJ Holmes and Rosser out in 8 and 9, but it's Benjamin now starting to take control. McMaster responds as the American moves through inside him. But look at Benjamin, only cleared in 2017 to run for USA, and storming away now, clear and gone. McMaster, nothing he can do. In fact, just stumbles a little up that flight here into the home straight with a clear lead. Now it's all about Rai Benjamin and how quick he can go. Flies over the last barrier. They're watching the clock. Here he goes, Benjamin, 47.16. Well, his second fastest ever performance over the 400-meter hurdles, and for any other athlete that would be a phenomenal run, and by his high standards it is as well. But you just wonder what he's capable of with. There's no Samba at the moment, but these two are so talented. Well, what a performance. The world lead, 47.16 for Benjamin, and as Tim was saying, I think we'll agree there's more to come from him. What a performance. So 48.94 season's best, rather ragged run from Kyron McMaster. Both of the last flights he almost stumbled over. Capello improving to 49.37 for a season's best, third for him. That will give him some encouragement.
A good win for Rai Benjamin there, whose rivalry with Karsten Warholm was one of the great features of last year's athletics season. Rai joined us on the line from his home in California a little earlier this week to tell us about his experience of competing at the Prefontaine Classic and his debut professional season. So you didn't actually compete at the Prefontaine Classic as a professional until last year, which would have been Stanford.
Going into pre, I knew that it was windy on the backstretch. So I know I needed to adjust a little bit for that and not exert too much on that front end, so that I have enough coming home. And it worked. I think that was actually my collegiate pattern that I ran at pre, and like 13s all the way around, and being a little bit conservative on the front end, and trying to run that back end as fast and as hard as possible. So that was a game plan going into pre, and I think I executed that one down to the dot. It was a good one.
You talk about getting out too fast in Shanghai and Rome. Was that a deliberate strategy, or is it just something like the adrenaline? Because like the jumpers, the pole vaulters so often talk about having to move their marks.
Yeah, it's the adrenaline. Yeah, it is. You get really excited. Rome was it was deceivingly loud because it didn't look like there were a lot of people in that stadium, but that stadium's so big, and it was there was a decent turnout there, so everything like echoed in there. So when they said my name and like everyone cheered, like it was just like my adrenaline like shot through the roof. So it's one thing when you're at practice, like doing reps and stuff like that, and you're just like, yeah, I feel slow. But when you go on the meet, you replicate that and you add in the adrenaline, like it's just gonna take you over the top. So it's like knowing that and bottling it and just, making sure that you're aware of what you're doing like in the race. So for me, I think in that particular race, like, yeah, my adrenaline just like went through the roof, and I was just really excited to go out there and just like, put on a show and just run my best. So, and then I was trying to run 46 too in the front end of the season. And, like on paper, it looked like something I could do, but I just didn't have the race pattern down and the technique down. So it was kind of hard. But for me, just the whole world record talk and because a lot of that was going on and in the beginning of the season. So I think I was more focused on breaking the world record, like the first and second meet, than I was just, having built up and do it later on in the season. So that was also an attribute to me, like changing my race pattern, because I was just trying to get it out the way so that I could be like, all right, like let's stop talking about this now. But yeah.
That's so interesting, because when I speak to other athletes, they're so often not that focused on times. They just think we'll get the wins first, and to win in an elite field, the time will come with it. But have you changed your mindset a little bit now since the early part of last season, and now?
Yeah, I think my mind changed going into Zurich. I think like just arriving there, even before I raced, I was like, all right, like it's like forget this world record talk. Let's like focus on winning a big one here, and let's focus on getting my race pattern down. Zurich was just wow. Zurich was really interesting. I mean, Carson and I both ran fast, but just the whole breakdown of the race, what happened, situational awareness was just. It was definitely a crazy race. I mean, like I remember every single step, every thought in that race and what happened, and I think that was the most I ever thought in a race, because it was ridiculous. Like everyone was hyped. That was the first time we got together. I remember getting off like hurdle 5. And Carson had already cleared it with like 2 steps. He did. So I was in the air, and he was already off the hurdle, and I was like, dang, like I'm behind right now. Like I need to go. And usually I don't start running at hurdle 5, but I started my kick at hurdle 5 because I was so far behind. Because I had stutter step 3, I came clean off for 4 because I got to 3 and I wanted to go 12s, but it was just one of those things where, I tried, but just I came up short because, you lose focus for like this much, like it's bad, and I couldn't see him as well too. So, cause I had gone, it was me, McMaster, then Karsten. And I was looking at McMaster because I thought McMaster was going to follow him. So he was blocking my view of Carson. So I didn't know situationally where he was. So it was just like, it was a lot. It was a lot. But I learned from that race, I watch it a lot just to learn, just to know like, all right, like what I should have done here and there.
You were actually, you were in Paris when Samba had that incredible run as well.
Yeah, I was. That was my first professional race. I think I ran the 200 there, got second, ran 19 for the first time. And I didn't see the race, but I heard it because I was cooling down while the race was happening. And I just hear the whole crowd goes like wild. And it was like 46. And I remember watching the race afterwards, and I was like, wow, like that was pretty impressive. That was really impressive.
Are you kind of frustrated this year that you haven't had a chance to go at it again?
Yes, because I think I was definitely prepared to run fast this year. I think our fall training was really excellent. I think we did a lot to to be ready to race this season, and especially having it be an Olympic year. I definitely understand like the circumstances with the whole coronavirus and you know how traveling can wouldn't be the best thing in anyone's interest. So I was kind of disappointed about it. I remember, when it first started, it was definitely disheartening because at first it was like, all right, there's definitely going to be no Diamond League meets. There's no Olympic trials. There's no Olympics. So it was kind of depressing a little bit because it's like you're going to practice every day and it's like, all right, what am I working for? Because you're used to going out and saying, all right, this is the end goal. This is where I'm trying to get to. This is what I have to do to get there. And if none of that stuff is happening, it's like, why am I here? So I struggled for a few weeks, trying to find the motivation to do it. But, like that, just hearing that, some meets or would possibly come back kind of gave me that motivation again. So it's kind of been rough in a sense, but at the same time, you go through like patches here and there. And so it's just been a whole roller coaster ride of emotions.
And then the only thing I wanted to ask you again is kind of like slightly relevant to Prefontaine Classic is that new stadium they've built in Eugene. Have you seen it? You've competed so many times at Hayward Field as a collegiate athlete, championships, US Nationals, maybe. In fact, no, Nationals wasn't there, was it? But, it's somewhere that you know so well.
Yeah.
Are you excited to compete in that lovely new stadium?
I am. We should have been there this year, actually, for a Pac-12 championships. We were going to travel with the team just to see how the facilities were. But when I saw it for the first time, I was like, man, like that place is just beautiful. And I know it looks different, but I feel like just knowing that you're at Hayward Field, like it's just, man, it's an entirely different experience on its own. Like it's just, when people say like there's magic there, like there definitely is. Like I've never experienced another atmosphere like that before in my entire life. But it's just, man, I'm excited for it. Like I'm definitely excited to get there. I'm definitely excited to touch a track and see what it feels like. So it'll be fun, it definitely would be fun. And especially if they could fill the whole thing, wow, that'd be really impressive.
Huge thanks to Rai for joining us on the show. We really are looking forward to his rivalry with Karsten Warholm resuming soon in the future. A reminder that we'll also have a chat with Shelby Houlihan coming up later on in the show. But before that, let's get back to the track, some steeplechase and distance events.
Laura Waitman going for Great Britain as well. The Commonwealth silver medalist behind Kipyegon in Glasgow a couple of years ago. Three and 3/4 laps of the track as ever. Chanel Price, the lone pacemaker, so she's been asked to do everything by herself. Be interested to see whether Kipyegon wants to take it on once the pacemaker drops out, and indeed Kipyegon has slotted in nicely straight behind Chanel Price, who's just letting them settle down. And plenty of athletes here who this is their first big race of the season. Robry moving up quickly behind Sigai and Seom, the two young Ethiopian 19-year-olds. Trenia Moser, the other experienced American, just inside Shannon Robry.
Well, they've just eased down a little bit as they got into the home straight here, but absolutely spot on. Faith Kipyegon, very, very powerful. The World Championship silver medalist from Beijing last year showed such terrific form in Shanghai to go to 3:56.82. It was a very dominant piece of running. And the fact that she's latched on to the pacemaker indicates that she's in business today, or at least is determined. And look how now, down the back straight, a little increase in pace, and all of a sudden they spread well out.
Seom, the one who is always the one to challenge more. Sigai doing her best, but is going to be perhaps chased down by others behind. They're going to be finishing quickly. But Kipyegon with 200 to go, has it between herself and Seom now. Another metre between the two of them. 5 meters back to the struggling now Sigai, now look at this, Kipyegon just picked it up again and looks behind and sees the gap going, and this is what she did in Shanghai. She's so strong in the last 100 meters. Kipyegon kicks away. It's a good performance from the Kenyan. We're going to be watching the clock here, see what she ends up with. It's going to be quick again. Kipyegon wins it. Seom, Sigai, then Jenny Simpson. Waitman coming in about 6th or 7th place in Great Britain, and then the others coming across the line. So a good performance once more from Kipyegon. As ever, so strong, able to finish so strongly. Kipyegon is full of running on the last lap. She's just got pace to burn that the others can't have. You know, the two 19-year-olds are obviously getting better, particularly Seom. But once more, Kipyegon comes out on top. Another 3:56 run, and she makes it look so easy. Women's 3,000 metres. They've asked for a very, very quick pace in this as well. They've set out to run around about 8:20, so they'll need just to let things settle down and hope that the pacemaking doesn't go too crazy over the first couple of laps. And it'll be Shannon Osika and Mary Correa will be given those pacemaking duties. So Osika got straight to the front and got herself clear of everybody. But I'm just watching to see where the likes of Hassan are, and you know, Hassan often likes to go at the back, and she's done that straight away, or is towards the back if you like. Dibaba trying to rally, close to Halfon, nothing to give at the moment, and Hassan starts to extend away. Sifan Hassan sprinting round the top bend. Now, this is going to be quick. If this last lap is anything around 66, 67, maybe even quicker. We said they were aiming for inside 8:20, and here comes Sifan Hassan. The crowd are on their feet in the home straight. Sifan Hassan looks behind. She's got this one. Will she get under 8:20? Watch the clock. 8:18. Close to Halfon second. Then Gidai. Then Dibaba. Then Laura Waitman coming through for Great Britain. Great performance from her. Then Helen Obiri. Well, stunning times here in this 3,000 metres. And Sifan Hassan, well, we looked at this field, Tim. We said it was set up to go quick. Not sure that was the script. We're not sure that Gidai was the one we thought would really take it to everybody else in her first track race of the year. Great performance from Britain's Laura Waitman. They're very good friends, Hassan and Waitman, and they'll both be delighted with that. 8:18.
Unbelievable running in the 3,000 there. She's very, very determined. And the way she eases past Gidai there and eases away from Dibaba in 3rd place and Kloster Halfon in 4th place. Little glance over her shoulder there to see who was coming with her. Was anybody in her slipstream? Well, she got the answer she wanted. No, nobody there. She drives on. She's an awkward looking runner, is Hassan. There's a lot of elbows going on, and she looks just aesthetically not particularly pleasing looking runner, but that matters not a jot. 8:18, many will regard, if you know the history of the sport and the controversy around those Chinese times of the 90s, some people will call that a world record from Hassan. 8:18.49. It's a world lead, a national record, a Diamond League record, and of course a meeting record.
5 centimeters off the facility record with
Ali Ostrander, the NCAA champion in 2017, 18 and 19. Fabulous hat-trick of NCAA titles, that is, for the young American. Good strength. She's run a 32-minute 10K. Although strangely, like so many of these steeplechasers, relatively poor on the flat. So will they hit these splits that we've been told, I think, are a little bit ambitious for this early in the season? 400 metres due to get together. That's in 70 seconds, 2:20 for 800, and obviously 3:30 for 1200 to stick to that schedule which will threaten the world record. Still only 5 women ever have gone under 9 minutes, but an awful lot of athletes are close to doing just that. But just to emphasise, Steve, the calibre of this field, 6 of the fastest 8 in history go in this steeplechase. She, of course, is the reigning world champion in the green shorts there, Emma Coburn. Raised at 9,000 feet in Oregon was the Coburn. And looking absolutely fabulous, rocking from side to side.
Colorado, of course, is the background of Coburn, and she comes off the water, jumps so well. She's a great technician. This helped her enormously on the final lap in London 2 years ago when she took the world title. She's going to get second place here. But Chepkoech, watch the clock. It's going to be fast, under 9 minutes surely. Another fabulous performance from the world record holder. Coburn striding home to second place. She was hoping to break 9 minutes. It's not going to be the case here today. Not with that fall mid-race either. Kieng in third place, Geruto in fourth place. Frerichs comes through for fifth, her first steeplechase of the season.
And that will be an American leader for Emma Coburn. Breaking her own 9:11.22
operating on a
earlier in
different
the year.
plane altogether, Steve. She just blew away the field there and was strong enough in that final kilometre to maintain her form. She's a lovely looking runner too. She's a beautiful technician. Her steeplechase barrier clearances, well, they're adequate, but she's strong between the barriers.
And what a performance though from Coburn. 9.4 with a 4. Look at this. She was just making a move at that point. Knew she was still on close to 9-minute pace. Goes down, straight back up. You got to gather yourself, not just kind of mentally, but physically as well. Get back in your rhythm. Didn't panic. Move through nicely. And as you said, really helped her on the last lap, particularly in the water jump. She got a gap ahead of Kieng again. So a strong performance from Coburn. Surely will go under 9 minutes. If you take the fall into consideration today, that might have been a 9-minute performance. Nonetheless, Chepkoech is out there on her own, isn't she? And shows that she can certainly run quicker than that. No help whatsoever after the first 2.5, 3 laps. And Emma Coburn a very solid second. So a big field here. We've been asked for a pretty swift 2.6 or thereabouts through 800 metres. Others to watch out for. Beatrice Chepkoech, the great steeplechaser, dropping down to the 1500 metres, winning Tibet in this as well. Laura Wayman of Great Britain, 6th at the World Championships last year, and bronze medalist at the Commonwealth Games over 5,000 metres, as well as the likes of Rafi, Szachocka of Poland, Glendinning here looking for a good early season performance. So Jenny Simpson's moved pretty swiftly up, taking a position a little higher than sometimes she does in the early stages, ahead of Laura Muir. Brenda Martinez just moving alongside Laura Muir. So the pace being set by Danielle Jones, who's had a personal best last night actually in domestic 1500 metres of 4.7, so she'll be full of confidence. Korea's going to try and take it on after that. And Rafi now could well be the danger, although Laura Muir is starting to get closer with every single stride. Simpson from Rafi. Then there's a gap of 3-4 metres. And Houlihan with a big run on the outside. Where's this one coming from? Simpson just starting to tie up a little bit. Now this would be a shot. Houlihan is striding away and is going to maybe get the victory here. Laura Muir's trying to get in amongst it. It's going to be tight on the line. Houlihan's going to win that one. Well, what a surprise. Shelby Houlihan. Nobody would have given her a chance of winning that race. Goodness me. 3:59.06. The fastest in the world this year. The race of her life, the race of her career. A personal best by a long way. Laura Muir just inside 4 minutes in second place. But look at this. I mentioned her down the back straight where she was making a bit of a move, but she had a lot of traffic ahead of her. She just kept that momentum going. And surely with every stride she was thinking, hang on a minute, I can win this. And then last 20 metres, stay strong. Laura Muir, as ever, fighting right to the line. Simpson also under 4 minutes as well. Good performance from Rafi. Well, sometimes it's just your day. And for Shelby Houlihan, she will never forget this one. She's beaten all of the big names there. Nobody would have given her any chance there. She's taken a massive chunk off her personal best. Great run.
Well, if you didn't know about Shelby Houlihan before that race, you certainly did afterwards. She, of course, followed up that Prefontaine Classic win with another victory in Lausanne just 10 days later. Shelby joined me on the line from her training base out in the Midwest to tell me about her experiences of racing at the Prefontaine Classic, winning, and her ambitions for the longer distances too. So yeah, Shelby, I was looking through your racing history, and Hayward Field was somewhere that you weren't unfamiliar with because you competed there at US Juniors and NCAA. So when you race at Hayward Field, coming up through the ranks, did it feel like a different sort of meet to maybe the other collegiate meets and high school meets that you performed at?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Prefontaine Classic is just such a huge deal in Eugene, and up until then, I mean, so are like the NCAA championships and stuff like that. But like, I don't know, I guess it just has a different feel to it. Like, it's a lot more intimate, and people are like really into like just what's happening, the meet itself, and so yeah, I feel like it's kind of have a similar vibe to even the Olympic trials. Just everyone's so passionate about track, and it's a really, really cool atmosphere to race in.
So I watched the race at Pre from 2018, and it's funny that you say you put yourself in that race, because Steve Cram on commentary doesn't mention your name until there's like 120 meters to go. So when the pace is so hot at the front, how smart do you have to be to just kind of let them go, especially when someone like Jenny Simpson is at the front of that pack, because she's such a smart racer? You were probably like 5-10 strides up behind her at that stage. Is there any panic, and does it kind of make you question your tactics at all?
No, I think that's the name of the game, is trying to be conscious of where you're at in the race. And I feel like in that moment, I knew I had a lot left. So I was just kind of gauging where I was and like trying to not be too far from the front, to like not take myself out of it. And yeah, like I said, like you said, the announcer never even mentioned my name, and I like knew that going in. I like knew I was kind of like the underdog, but I kind of said, screw it, I'm going to try. And yeah, I mean, I was able to, put myself in the best position to have that kick the last 200, and I actually was surprised at how fast I was able to keep going on that kick. And I think it was just, that year was the first time that the aerobic strength was clicking with the speed finally. And I was able to have a kick off a really fast race. And I surprised myself a little bit. I knew it was there, but I was able to like kind of surprise myself and, fly down the home stretch and come away with a win.
I want to ask about the last lap. When you do kick in the 1500 meters, what do you tell yourself mentally? Because that must hurt when you really dig in.
Yeah, I really am trying to keep my mind calm and like attentive to the race throughout the race, so that when I do get to that last like 200, I'm like, all right, here we go, I'm gonna switch gears. I just try to like convince myself that I still have a lot left, and that I feel really strong, even if I don't really. Once I'm able to switch those gears, it kind of gives me a little bit of a second wind, maybe a little adrenaline rush, but up until that point, I'm just trying to stay calm, put myself in the best position, and like kind of analyze what's going on in the race.
Where does that Prefontaine win fit in your memory when you think back of that season?
I feel like that was kind of like the start of the dominoes falling. I think I needed that race to build that confidence and to kind of validate to myself that I did belong at that level. And I always believed that myself. It was just I never felt like it was reflected in my races. So I think after Pre, that's really where I was like, all right, this is for sure. Like I can compete here, or I can compete at this level. And on one end, I was like, was it a fluke? Maybe I just felt really good on the day. And then I was able to go to the US championships and pull off the double win there. And so then I was like, okay, it wasn't a fluke. I am in really, really good shape. I can compete at this level.
Do you think it's a very good training group that you're in. Do you think that gives you a bit of confidence to know that if you can keep up with your training partners who are amongst the best in the world, that, mentally, what you said, it's almost like a confidence trick that, no, just keep pushing.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a huge thing that I've been so grateful to have. Growing up, I never really had training partners. I was always kind of on my own. And this group was actually, when I came to this group, it was the first time I really had people that pushed me and like tried, like got the best of me out of me in every workout. And that was, I don't know, I don't think that I would be at the level that I am at without them. looking to them, holding myself accountable, doing all the little things, all the right things. And even in practice, I think having those other women there to push me to run faster. And like right now I have Carissa, one of my training partners I do a lot of workouts with, and I have to be on my A game every time. Otherwise she's going to be right there, which is awesome. And I'm pushing her and she's pushing me at the same time. So just to have that, I think it has been huge for me.
And obviously that group is based in Oregon. Do you think that just adds an extra level of satisfaction when you reflect on a win at Prefontaine? Do you think the Eugene crowd kind of recognize that? Yeah, for sure. I think Oregon's kind of adopted me as one of their own a little bit, which is really cool. And it's nice to be able to go to Prefontaine or have these, Olympic trials or these huge races in that stadium and have a home crowd kind of feel to it. Like I can tell that people are cheering for me and, like they've followed my career because, I live in Portland now. And I think it's a little bit of like a home field advantage, but it's a really cool thing to have that many fans behind you. I wanted to ask a little bit about lockdown and stuff as well. Like how much have you been affected by it? I think really my day-to-day hasn't changed too much outside of like, we haven't been able to go to the gym. So I've been kind of doing some stuff at home, but I think, luckily for me in my sport, I only have to just kind of get out the door and go run. And, find some public tracks to try to work out on. We've kind of diminished our training group to like a bunch of little groups. So the past few months I've been training with Colleen Quigley and Carissa Schweitzer. So that's kind of been my little training group. And, our coach never like really came out to our practices just for the social distancing aspect of it. And so we were kind of on our own as far as like getting the workouts in and just like sending our coach our splits. But outside of like those little changes, I feel like the basis of what we're doing hasn't really changed that much. And we're just trying to treat it as another year. I think the good thing about our group is that we treat every year kind of the same, whether it's an Olympic year, a world championship, or year or an off year. So we're just trying to get the work in and be as fit as possible so that we can build off this year and, be better for next year. Have you missed racing? A little bit. Yeah. I'm more so like, I just want something to look forward to and like, kind of I feel like it's harder to stay motivated when you're like, what am I training for? And so I've struggled with that a little bit. And I think that honestly, that first week that I found out the Olympics weren't going to happen this year, went out and like binged on some junk food for like that whole week. And I kind of went a little crazy, honestly. But I was kind of enjoying just like not like having something to look forward to at the same time. It was kind of nice to just take a step back and get back to like the roots of why I do this and just enjoy like not having such structure to my life. I was, going to bed late, waking up late, which was kind of nice. Haven't really done that too often. But yeah, I think it's been a good opportunity for me to kind of hit that reset button and take a little bit of a mental breather going into next year. And then looking forward to the Olympics, do you think now that you've had that experience, you've made a team, do you feel that gives you a bit more confidence? Do you feel like you've got the right to be there a bit more? Yeah, I think in 2016 it was hard. I was able to make the Olympic team, but getting there, I was like terrified. I was like, oh God, like some of these women have PRs that are like 45 seconds faster than mine in that 5K. And I think now having the 2018 season that I had, and even, 2019 was awesome as well. But having those 2 years behind me, knowing that I am capable of competing at that level with those women, I think that kind of sets me up in a different way than 2016 did. And I feel like I can go to the Olympics and I have a very good chance of medaling or winning. And I have to believe that for sure, even regardless. But yeah, I genuinely do believe that I'm capable of winning that race. And I think that's a big jump from where I was 4 years ago. So that's kind of exciting. And thanks to Shelby for taking the time to join us on the show. Thanks too to Christian Coleman and Rai Benjamin for joining us a little earlier. And thank you too to you for joining us for this edition of the Wanda Diamond League Callroom Prefontaine Classic Special. A reminder that the next coverage of athletics that you can find across our channels will be from Oslo with the Impossible Games, so stay tuned for that. All remains for me to say is stay safe, enjoy the athletics, and see you next time.